So one person says that one thing they didn't tell you about adulthood is that your friends will drift away.
Right. Let's remove the time we work together. When's the last time we saw each other?
Hey, Lydia, seriously. Seriously.
Yeah, continue saying seriously.
Is she serious?
Continue. Life is never going to stop.
It's never ending.
I have to find myself ways to stop gently. Work doesn't stop. Motherhood doesn't stop. Marriage doesn't stop. Like all of these things stop. And guess what? Even if a relationship stops, guess what? You're single. Now that's a thing.
And now you every day you're single.
Now
you're
every day.
Singling every day. Hi guys, Murugi Munyi here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between.
It's definitely TMI. Buddy.
Hi, Stana.
How are you?
How are you doing?
Well, can you believe, guys, we didn't even decide that we were going to do black and white.
Yeah.
But alas, here we are, black and white.
Wow.
Yeah.
For the first time
I know.
in years.
Thank you. Thank
we are
you.
We are coordinated.
Somewhat.
It's
I should have put a red lip, and then now it would be like
boom.
Whoa.
But you didn't.
I did. I'm so sorry. I'm letting the team
As
down.
always. Guys, before we were just starting, there's sometimes in between shoots, we are hungry. So we eat. And sometimes we overeat. And now we want to nap, but we have to shoot another episode. So go and show them how you are hiking yourself. Come on, Joe. Come on.
Let's do this. It's just like actually, it's easier to hype myself for the second episode we are shooting as opposed to the first, because like this is the last one and then we are done.
Oh, it's true. It's just like
the first one is like just talk, but you're going to rest and you have another one to shoot.
And
but this one, and you need to done.
But you know what? However we get our energy up, guys, every time we are here on these mics, we feel blessed, we feel honored, because we have an incredible community out there who are supporting us, who are cheering us on, and that is the in-betweeners. And now, Queen-betweeners and King-betweeners, you know, we need to kind of, trademark that. Like that's our thing.
By the way.
King-betweeners and Queen-betweeners are just you guys. And thank you so much for always showing up. For those who are a little slower on the showing up side, you have not subscribed, whether you're listening to YouTube, whether you are on any of the podcast platform, and you are on a lot of them. And we said if you're not on any, please do let us know in the comments below. But if you're on any of the platforms and you're listening, and this is not the first time or the second or the third, please subscribe, because this is how you support our content. This is how you support our craft.
And if you don't subscribe, comment down below why you hate us, so we can just know.
Just say, and we would like to know the haters, where the haters are. But please do, guys, and thank you so much for every single person who has subscribed, who follows us, whether it's on our podcast platform, on YouTube, on Instagram, TMI Podcast KE. We love you and we appreciate you. You can also follow me, Lydia KM, and Murugi Munyi, pretty much everywhere. Me, I'm not on Twitter. She's a brave one. In the team, she's a brave one. But on Instagram, we're always there sharing loads of content. Even the BTSs of our shoots, if that's something that interests you, are always on our TMI Podcast KE page.
Absolutely. By now, you guys have heard, if you follow us on Instagram, if you don't, why? But if you do, you have seen we are one of the 13 podcasts, African podcasts, that was selected for the first time ever to receive a Spotify Africa fund. Guys, when we tell you that this means the world to us, like, I don't even think, honestly, we are so excited. What does this mean for us? It basically means that Spotify has identified us as a growing talent in the podcast scene in Africa-wide, guys. Not just Kenya, Africa-wide. And it basically means that they're going to be giving us support so that we can reach more of you, so we can keep bringing you the amazing content that we are always bringing you guys. So we want to thank you for your support. Everyone who has subscribed, who has liked, even if you have commented something negative, at least you commented. You know, if you have shared with someone, if you have saved, if you have sent it to those chama groups or your cousins group, we appreciate you so much.
Yeah, we do.
So
and
much.
Here's the thing, and this is something maybe we don't talk about directly, but the story, maybe we should do the story of TMI at some point.
We should.
But there's plenty of time we've gone into our pockets to keep the podcast running, especially last year.
Beginning
of this year, we had to do that because we believed in what we were doing. But of course, there was like a lot of cost that went into it. So to be able to have grown to the place because of you guys, to be able to be recognized in this way and to get the support that we need, so that we know for sure, at the very least, between now and a very
And
over
end of
there.
next year,
End of next year, at the
good
bare
content.
minimum, we will know that we're going to be able to be running, and it feels amazing. Congrats to all of the African podcasts, and especially the other Kenyan ones, the Sandwich Podcast, Manto KE, Nipe Story. Those are the 4 Kenyan ones who are also selected, and it feels amazing. So if you out there have an idea of starting a podcast, someone is listening, and that person is Spotify.
It's Spotify, guys.
Spotify. So thank you so much.
And I love that we are in that not first wave, but I feel like we are in a lot of the beginning wave of like podcasts are a thing. You can make money from them. You can actually have this as a living. People do this for a living. So if you're thinking about doing it, definitely do it.
And guess what? I was talking about this with Eli, right? It's like there's a lot of scrutiny and a lot of work that comes when you're the first to do anything. It's like, you are doing podcasting.
Who is even in podcasts?
All those little comments you get in the beginning, right? That's the cost. But the benefit is that when the rewards of that new industry or whatever starts growing, you will be at the forefront.
Absolutely.
So even if you're the only one doing something in your space, as long as there's evidence, because we knew there was evidence that podcasts are coming, right? You just keep going because you're going to reap the awards.
This year has been so validating for TMI in so many ways. I feel like from the time we started TMI, I'm certain neither of us has ever felt like, is this worth doing?
Never.
Like, from the beginning, we are like, we are going to be fucking successful. We are going to make so much money from this podcast. We are going to reach so many people. It's always going to be amazing. Even the times when we've had to go into our own pockets, it's never felt like,
it felt like an investment.
It always feels like an investment. And it's been just so validating, the awards and the recognition and the Spotify fund. It's just been amazing. And we love that you guys are coming along on the journey with us.
I find that maybe it's because individually we believe in ourselves. Like,
so much.
There's nothing that we really can't do. So maybe together it's like a potent concussion of like belief. Like episode
do you think
1
it can ever be toxic? Do you think it can ever be toxic?
Because
how much we believe in ourselves.
Like, we're gonna be the number 1 podcast in
the
Africa.
world.
In Africa. Where, sweetie? Where?
Also, paying out of your ass for that
out of your
same
ass.
podcast.
Like, it's Tana getting fed. We don't know. But TMI needs the lights
on. The lights are on.
That is
it. That is it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for your support. We appreciate you so much. So, right now, we are entering a phase in content creation, and I guess just in adulthood and like life, content creation especially, where it's like, it's so effing hectic. November and December are such peak adulthood periods for us, for like Lydia and I specifically, but also I guess for a lot of people, like if you work in the service industry, for example, November and December might be a lot for you, marketing, things like that. And just the last 2 weeks, I found myself thinking like, adulting is so much. It's actually just so much. It is relentless, just as we say motherhood is. It's like you wake up in the morning and by the time when you're going to bed, it's like you've done things, but it feels like the plate is still full. The plate is just perpetually full. It is endlessly full. There's always things to do. There's always somewhere to be. There's always someone to call. There's always content to create. And it just got us thinking about how many things that when you are a kid, you took for granted and no one really told you about adulthood. Things they never told you about adulthood that honestly, you're probably not prepared for if you are not still a child, but like you're in your early adulthood years, let's say.
Yeah, there are so many things in adulthood that you're not prepared for practically because your parents didn't really involve you in them. So for example,
taxes.
Number 1. Number 2, having to wake up, like what your day-to-day entails as an adult. You don't know until you get there. You know, because it's like, okay, I find my mom up. So I don't even know what time she's been up. So crack of dawn at 11. Me, that's when my day starts. I don't know when your day starts. I don't know what you do before I get up. I don't know what you do when I go to bed. I know food is dinner. It's like I didn't even see you cook because I wasn't paying attention. All of these day-to-day things, like one for sure that I know I'm lost in is cooking. Ooh. Right? Like now, especially now, I'm no longer living with someone. It's like cooking is gone out of the window.
Yeah.
It's gone out of the window
because it's been so long since you showed us you're cooking.
I'm not cooking. I am literally ordering takeout. What I'm now have shifted to is like takeout that's good food. Okay. Like recently I had like Nigerian food or actually getting food from somewhere that's actual
Which
food.
Which is like rice, chicken,
something
veggies.
Like that. Yes, something that's a healthy meal is just been taken away because I can't imagine with everything I have going on in this month that I'm going to stay there for how many, 2 hours or an hour?
Yeah.
I know.
Listen, and they tell you that, eating at home is better for you, but like you've just eaten breakfast. Now it's lunchtime.
Yeah.
Now it's already dinner time and you're already hungry again. Now, let me do you one up. Okay. Now it's the weekend. Your nanny is away. And now you are the one who's responsible for ensuring everyone has eaten.
No.
So you've just made breakfast for everyone. Everyone has eaten. An hour and a half later, Mama, I want a snack. And you're there trying to think, Instagram has told me that we have to be healthy. Why are you feeding your kid crisps? So you're busy trying to prepare a healthy snack. As soon as they are done eating, it's lunchtime. You're making lunch for everybody. It's now afternoon snack time. It's now dinner time. You're responsible for feeding everyone.
No, here's the thing, Let me give you guys an update. right. Before we proceed with this episode, let me just give you guys an update. There's the episode where we did a Q&A and it was talking about the breakups or whatever. And you were sharing with me how when you look at my life, you see like, where you could have been if you weren't married and with kids and stuff. Yeah. Of course, then we was just like a month after breaking up. So all I could see was the loss of my time, right? The loss of what I had, right? Because that was the idea, being with this person, getting married, having children, whatever the case may be. But now, me and my sister told me something. She was like, don't wish it away. So this time right now, when I have the luxury of my time, I'm able to be selfish and decide to cook, whatever the case may be, or not cook, whatever. I am taking it in because I am very aware that once you have kids, that's it. I'm 31 and I'm still being mothered by someone.
Imagine.
By someone. So that's it. So I'm trying to be more present in it. And I respect you so much for showing us exactly what motherhood is like. Because I had, for a long time, had this like daydream version
we all did.
Of it. Yeah.
And it is
just
beautiful.
Stressed me out
like,
so
I know. It is beautiful, but it's just like,
it is. It's just...
When I think, honestly, one thing that can make me hate Lydia is like when I think of like it's a Saturday or a Sunday and you've just slept in and it's like 12, you've just woken up, or 11 and it's just like, I just wanted to laze around in bed. What is that?
But guess what though? It's not fair. It's like you get to have the beautiful family.
You're right. Okay, so it's a balance. There's a balance. Yeah.
I get to have the luxury of selfishness.
Yeah, I get to. You're right. Okay, fine. It is balance. Yeah, but that's definitely. I mean, a lot of the things with adulthood, I feel like. Yes, someone can teach you kind of, but some of it you can only experience once you get there. It's like, it's only when you arrive at that place that you now realize like, wow. Okay, so this is how it's done. Yeah. This is what happens. Yeah. And why didn't anyone teach us about taxes? Okay, so we found some things on the internet about like things that they didn't tell you about adulthood. Some of them I agree with, some of them I don't, but you can also interject with other things that you want to bring in. So one person says that one thing they didn't tell you about adulthood is that your friends will drift away.
Right.
Realizing that making and keeping friends is extremely hard and people drift apart pretty easy. I agree with this from the sense of when you're an adult, things have to be so much more intentional. So much more intentional. Like for you and I feel like we see each other often just naturally because we work together so often. But like if we weren't working together or we didn't like have mutual brands that we're working on or whatever, imagine how much work we would have to do to like intentionally be like, okay, when are you free? Can we meet for lunch and meet for this? Maybe we would never see each other.
Yeah. Whose would be the problem?
Who do you think you?
Joanne would be the
Why
biggest
me?
problem. Cause me. Time, even now, sometimes when I'm trying to organize something like as simple as a lunch, let me tell you guys, it's a mountain.
Simple as a lunch. A lunch is not simple.
Let's remove the time we work together. When's the last time we saw each other?
Hey, Lydia, seriously. Seriously.
Yeah, continue saying seriously.
Is she serious?
Continue saying it. Huh? Exactly. So there's but that's a positive. I think that's
I love that we get to.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have time to even hang about with a friend, but it's like, I have to see Joe. It has to happen because we work together. So there's a positive. But yeah, it needs to be intentional. And also because you're growing, right? Things shift so easy. For example, where I was even financially 2 years ago is not where I am now, right? And if, let's say, what commonalities you had with people was around that or where your financial status is, then when it does dramatically change, sometimes things change, you know? So you have to be very clear about the values that you have with your friends, like what are we friends for, and continuously build that. Then the level of honesty, being able to draw boundaries.
And you start realizing as you get older, sometimes you realize that what was our friendship based on? Like a lot of times it's proximity. Like this person, you live in this building and they just happen to be your next door neighbor. So that's where you hang out.
Yeah.
And then now you move away and just like, are they really my friend? You know?
Yeah.
Or like when you're in high school, it's just like we are all in the same class, we're in the same dorm. So that's
that happens all the time.
Exactly. Then afterwards, it's only when you really start to see who actually is your friend. Like, who do you have? Like, or like that's why they say when somebody like gets married or something, if your only connecting point was going
single.
out, it was being single or going out and drinking, and now I'm pregnant, I can't go out and drink. So
then that's it. It dies.
Yeah, it dies.
Do you think we'd still be friends? We didn't work together. It's okay. Be honest.
I think so, because in the period between Hebrew and when we started working together, now were we not friends? We were not like this close.
Yeah,
we were not intimate, but we were still friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Which is why we did the friendship. We did the friendship live. Yeah. We were still friends. I feel like
we were.
Yeah. No, thank you. Exactly.
Okay, I feel better now.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. Let me say another one, which is, I guess, very Lydia KM of me. We weren't taught how to parent ourselves, right? And parenting yourself is about sitting in your emotions, validating your own emotions, and understanding how to operate in your emotional world. Almost all of us are doing that as adults, right? Drawing boundaries. We are encroaching 30, 65, but still, we don't know how to draw boundaries. Being able to even just like speak up for ourselves. Communicating our emotions, being able to ascertain which partners are good for us, being able to know how to have healthy dynamics with our partners. All of these things we are learning now. So I feel like there's a huge emotional deficit because we weren't taught those things. Number one, where did we see them? Right? Your dad sits here, your mom sits here. They don't even talk to each other. This one's on newspaper, this one is doing this. Done. You don't even know what it's like to communicate. There are no boundary setting because kids aren't allowed to speak up in their homes, right? Or say your mom's not going to draw the boundaries in front of you guys to the dad. So we don't know any of these things. And I think a huge part and why right now therapists are literally charging trillions
$1 billion an hour
is because we don't know how to parent ourselves. We didn't get the emotional skills to be able to operate in a world where other people exist and to exist in a healthy way. So now we are just doing all of this stuff now. I know that's one of my biggest things.
Yeah. And I guess, I mean, as a child, you just get what you get. And so much of what, like how we see boy-girl relationships, so to speak, is based off of what you saw from your parents. Either you didn't see it at all, like maybe in your case. For me, it was like, it was somewhere in between healthy and toxic. What's in between healthy and toxic?
Toxic.
Oh. Okay, something like that, exactly. But like when you think about like, okay, how you saw yourself, how you interacted with your dad growing up, like for us, my dad would always come back late. So us, we grew up knowing that a home is where just is your mom. Once your mom has come home, that's it. That's the evening. So anytime that he would ever come home early, it's just like, it's awkward. It's like,
it's weird.
Why are you here? This is not our dynamic. So coming now into a marriage where my husband is home early and he's sometimes even earlier than me, took some getting used to, you know. But I feel like with those things, it's like, it's so situation specific that who can really be taught?
Yeah, who can really be taught? It's
true.
You just I think it's like whatever our parents lacked themselves, we also lack, right? So if they lacked that connection, then we are not going to be able to know it. I remember thinking, I don't know marriage. I only have a figment of my imagination. So even the way I'm going to create or how I'm going to do things as a wife, it's all from like societal standards, from movies, all because I didn't see that. Like my parents separated when I was 9. So anything I saw is like, you know, it's just like fragments in memory. So I don't know what that's like. And that's something which I'm going to literally have to teach myself when I get there. Yeah. But I mean, what are you going to do?
And sometimes I feel like maybe that's even a bit better.
You think?
Than seeing it
because instead of having a picture which you have to dismantle,
you can create your own and be like, this is what feels right to me. These are the rules I can have, instead of it being like, oh, a wife always cooks or a wife always does this.
And maybe that's why I do gravitate actually towards men who are a bit more unconventional.
Exactly.
I don't have those dynamics because I don't even know how myself
you
to
don't
be
even
in them.
know. Yeah, there you are. Perfect for you. Another thing they don't tell you about adulthood is how there's this long, endless like slog, long, endless, just like continuity of adulting. You know how when you're a kid, there's always like, you're looking forward to half term, and then you're looking forward to the holidays, and then you're going to have summer vacation or like, you know, whatever. In adulthood, and especially in jobs like ours, where is that Where is that break? Where at what point do you have that break? Every day is a day where you're waking up thinking, I'm not a millionaire. I need to get money for fees. I need to get money for this. It's just like a long, endless thing. Given you can't choose to take breaks, but like the responsibilities, there's never like a drop. Like now you've finished your end of term exams and now you can rest until next term.
I get your point. I would word that like what we weren't taught is what we weren't taught is to get past that destination mindset, right? So a lot of us by 30, we were told like, I don't know what happened, was supposed to happen in 30s, but that was it. I knew something
First,
was
you needed
supposed
to be
stop.
married and at least 2 kids by 30.
But it stopped. Something stopped
Yeah.
at 30, but it didn't. That's not true. Nothing actually stopped. There's a destination mindset where it's just like, you've got to finish school, you've got to get married, you've got to have kids. Then what? Right? Then what? Nobody tells you the ... which is just like every day now you have to stay married.
You're staying
as a mother.
And you're still mothering.
They don't talk about that.
You're still
They don't
paying
talk
mortgage.
about that. I remember, I think it was you who said after we did our TMI life experience, it was just like, but no, tomorrow you need to shoot.
You still need to shoot.
It's not
Exactly.
like there is no,
Yeah.
There is no heart. And do you know what I'm realizing? I think it's because of the pause that I took when I was going through the breakup. I was able to be like, life is never going to stop.
It's never ending.
I have to find myself ways to stop gently throughout. Like I was telling you, I'm not eating while being on my phone anymore because I won't ever stop, Joe. It never stops. Work doesn't stop. Motherhood doesn't stop. Marriage doesn't stop. Like all of these things stop. And guess what? Even if a relationship stops, guess what? You're single. Now that's a thing.
And now every day you're single.
Now
you're
every day
singling every day.
Singling every day.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a promise of a destination that we were given in adulthood, but that's not true. Adulthood is more maintenance than destination.
Yeah.
It's more keeping things going than even necessarily even getting things.
Yeah. And I think
God, I'm so tired of even talking about it.
For me, really, that's where the fatigue of like every day comes. Because like every day, even if you don't have kids, the number of times I see you on your stories and you're just like, okay, I have a few errands to run or whatever. I'm like, so even single people, you guys still have to go and run errands. Yeah. You have to like, there's something which needs to be done. Okay, now you need to go, oh, your I don't know, your Wi-Fi is not working. Okay, you need to pay for that. You need to go and get new curtains. You need to go and every day there's something else. And every month there's something else.
And quarter 4 right now, what is it looking like? We thank God for our problems. God knows.
I feel like just being,
all of that still needs to be done. And then being able to manage your time.
Yeah.
It's like no one is doing it. Even if you do have a PA, do you not still feel like you're overwhelmed?
Yeah.
It's like,
honestly,
are they not doing
what
their
is
jobs?
Nancy doing?
Are they not doing their jobs? But it's like they're doing everything to their full capacity. But those other things, it's your job.
Oh, girl. And you know what makes it worse in this age of social media? This is what's annoying. When you go on people's social media, depending on what they have chosen to focus on, you start feeling inadequate in all areas. So here you are already, you're struggling to just keep the lights on and just whatever. You go on Shiv's Instagram. Why? Working out. Yeah. You go on, I don't know, someone else's and they're just like, they're eating salads. It's like, oh, what are you feeding your kids? You go on another one. How much are you taking? Whatever. Go on your phone. Lydia is asking you, have you taken 30 minutes out today for your mental health? You go on somewhere else. Like someone else is just like, is that how you're wearing your hair these days? Like, no, that's not. So there are so many areas just where you catch a breath here. It's just like, there's all these other things that are still not being done.
Another thing that I've decided to do for my mental health, I'm not watching stories. I've told you that.
Yeah.
Because I have more to do than anything. Yeah. And first of all, stories is the biggest time waster. I don't even think it's scrolling. Me, I feel like stories are never ending. And one of those things is that it's like you feel like, I'm doing a great job just being able to stay above water, creating the content that I need to do, planning all of these things, doing the workshop, whatever. And then you go on someone else, you remember you haven't worked out.
Oh, you're right. You remember,
As you said, your kids are eating plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like your hair, edgeless. It's like I'm not looking to hear what other ways that things are being done. I just need to focus on what I'm doing.
What I am doing.
Honestly, it's a pause I need to take.
I think I'm gonna start doing that. And then the thing with when you scroll down the feed, it's at least you've seen this post, you've gone to the next person, This one, it's like fast. You're 25 stories on one person. Then you go to 25 of the next person.
And they're really going
and
in.
They're me.
if they're going
you're there
in
for an hour,
and then maybe they're going in on something, like this one topic, how do you not pick that up? And stories are really intimate because they're about everyone's everyday life. So you think you're managing well, you're waking up at 5, she woke up at 4. Allah, look at
and
you,
he's done
lazy
2
bum.
workouts and
He's
had his
done
banana.
2 workouts, he's fed Mamba.
And Shiloh is there beating the dog. Now, what are you doing?
You are rising at
just
5.
now.
It's like there's too intimate that it's actually I stopped doing it when I was going through my breakup because I wanted to pace myself into life and seeing everyone's life going on in a speed that I generally just was not capable of at that time. I was just like, I don't want that, right? But now that's it. This is the life I live.
I think I'm going to start doing that.
Just do it.
And maybe I'll just I'll click first of all, I get so angry when I go on Instagram and your story is not the first one that's shown me. I'm like, who the fuck do you want? Who do you want me to catch up on their life? It's not Lydia. Bring Lydia to the front. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I feel like just limit. I've limited. Barely watch stories now. Yeah. Okay. And also, Shiv, you're doing great.
You're doing great.
I don't know whether using you as such an example.
It's just because when I just see those reels of dun, 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 dun,
you're stupid and fat.
And I'm just like, okay, thank you. I mean, I'm struggling with my kid broke her hand. But anyway, no, it's fine. I'm just, okay. Here's another one. Something they didn't tell you in adulthood is there's never enough time to do everything that you want to do. I guess that's sort of related to this one, but there really just isn't enough time. You have to make time when you're an adult. It's like, you will never have as much. And people tell me this all the time. They're like, they watch my stories and it's like, have you lived 5 days in one, because they're like, they feel like when they watch mine, it's like I've done so many things in the day. And it's because I try my best to go one, try and keep things in as short a time as possible. But of course, when someone else is watching it, it looks like, wow, you are doing that. And then now you're here.
But really, it's like I drove an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe I took a drink.
Yeah.
Maybe I was on the phone for,
Exactly. Or maybe as I was driving, or maybe someone was driving me, I was doing these other things. So then they overlap kind of, But the reality is that there's not enough time to do everything as an adult. It's like, okay, you want to balance being a mom, but you also want to have a shop. You want to have your podcast. You also have to shoot your content. You also want to spend time doing this. You also want to go to the gym. There's never enough time to do everything perfectly the way you want to do it. You have to just make time for the things that are important to you.
100%. And I'm definitely stepping out of that hustle culture in that the energy I'm leading with now is intentional movement, right? And one of the things I've realized about realized about intentional movement is that slowing down almost always gives me enough energy to take a bigger step back. So when I do feel
a bigger step forward,
sorry. So anytime I feel like I am at that, I just know it's like I just need to take a small steps back, just which is just pause. How are you, Joanne? Let me hear. That just mentally bringing me down allows me that the next 2-3 steps are usually bigger ones
and intentional
and more intentional. And even with my content, whereas before I felt like it was just I just needed to do show. I'm now more from a place of, okay, thinking about things in a different way, okay, what can this offer? I'm being a bit more intentional about the way that I'm moving because as I'm saying, now that I'm in this space where I'm just I'm enjoying the luxury to be selfish, I want to utilize that time a lot more because the bigger life gets, then the more there's not enough time.
There's
and then
really
you look back and just by the way, I had more time then.
Yeah.
And life is only expanding and I know the person I am. I'm only going to get bigger and better. So if you have a minute to nap right now,
take that bloody nap. Oh, I'm so sad about all the naps I refused to take as a child. I want to take them now. Here we are now.
The other day I had time to nap, but I thought of all the things that might be pushed back.
That's the problem.
And I was just like, do you prefer to just push through now and just sleep earlier? Because all of this still has to be done.
Exactly.
And it's you.
Yeah. And me, sometimes I ask myself, some of the things that we put pressure on ourselves, it has to be done and it feels super urgent or it needs to be done. Ask yourself, really, if right now, let's say you fainted and you were taken to the hospital and you couldn't touch your phone for the next 4 days, would anyone have died?
Wouldn't.
So I ask myself, really, what has to be done? Okay, if I need to actually pick my daughter from school at 12, that one has to be done. But when I'm just oh my God, I really need to put up that story on Wild, do you really need to have to, or do you just want to?
Yeah.
And that really helps you be able to just think back okay, these are the important things and these are the things that I want to do. Let's see where I can fit them in or I can schedule them in.
The other day I had the way it was scheduled was I had a live with Dr. Vundi. For those who don't know,
Right now, because it's tomorrow's
Yes.
episode. Yes.
Okay. For those who don't know, I am doing a better breakup workshop. The way I dealt with my breakup, a lot of people just wanted to know, like, how was I able to process in this way? How am I back to life? All of these things. So I created a better breakup workshop with Dr. Vundi, where it's going to be a 2-week workshop where all the resources, you can imagine, as I was saying, all the research and all the stuff that I've done to be able to help me deal with the stages of grief, the emotions of like the post breakup, all those things, being able to process that. I also wanted to create a community of women where we can all share our stories, because nobody gets how you're feeling right now more than the people who are going through it yourself.
And turns out a shit ton are going through. It turns out a shit ton of women are going
my God,
through
so many women are going through. So
Yeah.
many women are going through it. So what was my point? Right. Anyway,
Okay.
so I had a live with Dr. Vundi first,
Yes.
and then I had arranged to have therapy. And then after therapy, I was waiting for Aggie's boyfriend to come and help me fix my laptop. And then immediately after that, I needed to have left to go and get my makeup done to go to the
An
Jumia event.
Ooh.
Let me tell you this. Yeah, after that live, I was just like, what here can shift? Because I was like, am I in control of my life? Because if I am, I'm not about to do all of this overwhelming myself. I shifted therapy to the next day because it was a freer day. And then I moved my makeup to like an hour after. So then that meant all I had to do after the live was take a pause, then deal with Ben when he came, and I had enough space to create content, which needed to go to approval like that day. Mind you, I was going to squeeze all of that then. And then therapy, you're not even focused.
Yeah,
because you have so many things to do.
Finish?
I was
Yeah.
like, this is nonsense. I literally took a pause and I was just like, are you the creator of your life?
Are you?
Yes, you are. I shifted everything. And guess what? No one burned.
No one
No
died.
one burned.
No one died.
Yeah,
indeed.
I think it's something in our head sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you ever like came to the realization of like, wow, you know, I could die anytime, or I will die. I will die.
I mean, I saw death early. My uncle died. She's dad. Who, by the way, he died on my birthday. So that was fun.
Oh
yep. So every time there was a year anniversary was like, oh God. Yeah. So that still happens even now. Like even every time on my birthday, she usually posts something about her dad. And you know, you just feel so awful to have those two things
Lydia
collide.
with her balloons.
I know, like
Happy birthday to me.
You know, it can be a bit much. But I remember how I thought about death then. That's the first time I questioned God, you know. I think I was like 11 years old and I was just like, it doesn't make any sense because honestly, I'm not saying other people deserve to die more than us, but I was like, of all people,
why him?
This one who is like kind of the backbone, the strong one. This is the one you take. I really didn't understand that. So I saw death early. Also, my granddad died when I was about 9 years old. So I saw death early. So I knew things could happen that way. But what I had in my mind was more like sickness because it was both. But I didn't realize you could wake up right now, you drink your juice and you choke and you die.
Or you sleep here and you hit this mic badly and you're dead. Yeah. I feel like the older you get, the more the reality of death hits you, I feel. Yeah. And I feel like and the reality is that you can die at any time, even if you're young. But I feel like the older that you are, for me, I feel like death always feels like it's at the forefront, almost like forefront of my mind of like, you could die anytime. And I feel like it makes me so intentional with things, especially like being in our family group. You know, we have like old uncles who, they are, classmates, friends, whatever, die like flies. You know, when they are older, it's just like, oh, this one has died of a heart attack. This one has died of cancer. This one has died. So it's just like, wow, people die.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I preoccupy myself more with like the concern of like, let's say my mom dying or like, you know, something happening to my mom, my sister. And I think because we have long distance, you think, you know, it's like sometimes seeing them the next time is like a really big part of what you're looking forward to. So then you just always think like, oh my God, what if, you know, what if? And our family, we're always flying around. So then it's like, you know, someone gets on a flight, you're just like, you know, that could be the one. That could be,
I know.
You know, the other people are people as well. So I usually preoccupy myself more with that. But my own death, personally, I don't worry about it. I don't even fear it.
Yeah.
I don't fear it.
I don't think I did also before I had children.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's why. For me, the way I am with death is from a place of, I want to occupy as much of my life as I possibly can. That's what more I focus on, more than if I die. Because first of all, I realize when I die, I don't know I'm dead.
It's true.
So you guys deal with it. So now that makes me know that you won't know you're dead. So you think it's like, when I die, I'll feel so dead. You won't know.
The pain means like the pain of the actual death, first of all.
Yeah, you assume.
Imagine being stabbed in the stomach and you're bleeding out for 5 hours before you die.
I don't think you take 5 hours.
How long does it take? I don't think so.
Bleeding out.
Who knows? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't even think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think you'll be murder you? Why would you go straight to murder?
So people want to murder me. I don't know.
I don't even know what I think. But me, I always see myself like old age. A lot of people in my family are old age.
Me, I see myself like car accident.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think I had a dream once and now it's just always been in my head.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I don't feel it like from a fearful, like, oh my God, I'm living in fear, like, oh my God, I'm going to die or whatever.
But it's just like,
there. Just know that you're going to die one day and we all die. So
then your parents getting older. Are we even prepared for that?
Older,
yeah.
Your parents dying. Yeah. That's a reality that I feel like in my mind I can't even fathom. Like my mom not being around.
For me, it's more of the age when it happens. Like I just need it to be when we are all old.
Yeah, when we're all old and we're all
which
close
is kind of like, oh yeah,
we are all she's gone fast. We are coming.
Yeah, like my grandparents. Actually, if history on my mom's side shows, it's we're going the right direction. Yeah.
Wow. Love that for us. Okay, this other one that someone sent said, you weren't taught that you get ahead in life by kissing ass or being related to someone.
Ooh, yeah. There's a word for that. Like, let's say like hiring people who you're related to. It's called? Nepotism, yeah. That's a real thing. And also people think that, or for example, you're gonna get ahead in life because of things that have not much to do with you. Okay, so let's say for example, you have your degree, let's say it's a 2-1 or a first or whatever the case, and somebody else has some. But you went, what's that school? You went to Brookhouse, right? That is already, as soon as that's posted on your CV versus somebody else's, maybe like a public school or whatever.
Primary.
Whenever. Those two are different.
Yeah.
Those two are different. That really has nothing to do with you.
It's just,
or nothing to do with the other person.
Yeah.
I think I've always been really conscious of my privileges. And I think the reason is, so she's my cousin, she's dad passed, right? Obviously, that's a very different scenario than my parents separating, right? And then my mom, after the divorce, she kind of sought out a lot of opportunities and she went out and life completely changed. So I saw what not having a dad could do in very different ways. So I always felt like there's so much about my life that's very, very different, more from the awards of that came from my mom or the awards that came from my childhood and things like that. So I've always been aware that life isn't fair. Life is not balanced. Life is not just like work and everything is perfect. No.
It's absolutely not like that. But I feel like there is some sort of balance. And that's why I love the age that we live in now. For me, I feel like social media, globalization, access to internet has brought some kind of like even ground to opportunities people are able to get. For example, when I see somebody who's like a randomly amazing dancer from a slum in Ghana, and then suddenly now they've become super famous and they're earning millions. I'm like, this, like social media to me and like the internet is some sort of equalizer. Of course, it definitely there's still the whole thing of nepotism and you know somebody and so you get this opportunity and whatever. But more than ever, I feel like we have the opportunity to create our own destiny. We decided to start our own podcast. Of course, we do have the privilege of, you have the time to be able to do that. You have the support of others. You have a parent, a husband or whatever. But I feel like there are so many more resources available to people to create their own success, create their own wealth and whatnot now more than ever before. Don't you agree?
Yeah. So I agree to a certain degree. But do you know how many people in Africa aren't even on social media? They don't have a smartphone, right? It's like, it's a great equalizer as long as you've already climbed a few steps to having a phone to even create access to internet. That and also internet is like in Africa is like a privilege more than you've eaten. You've been able to eat, you've been able to buy your clothes, you've been able to feed your children, and then you can buy bundles for Instagram. And then you can upgrade. Like once all of these, the things
the basics.
Yeah. So to have the basics is still a big privilege for a lot of people. But once you do get there, I feel like there is a more of an even playing field than there was before. So, but there's still that other part before you even get to this place where social media is even something that you're conversant with.
You're
you know,
right, yeah.
But in general now, it's definitely way different, and people from all over the place have opportunities, and they're able to build themselves, and that you can do it. You definitely can do it.
Helps to have a rich uncle, though.
Oh my goodness, doesn't it just inherit, like, let me tell you that right now. Actually, I know I'm chatting crap because I don't think I'll do it. But right now, if I just heard, like, I've inherited like 100 million.
I know. Dollars. Because 100 million shillings is going to Isha like tomorrow.
Not for me as a childless single woman.
Yeah,
not tomorrow.
Okay, by the time you buy a house, 20
not even
million.
Not even that. Like, I would give myself like 6 months.
To do what?
To literally just not care about anything. I would enjoy the privilege of not caring about anything.
So would we, assuming tomorrow somebody dies and they leave you 50 million, they leave me, 100. Would we still be here on Thursday shoot? TMI.
This coming Thursday? Yeah. maybe in a month's time, sweetheart.
Wow. So Beryl and George out of a job. Too bad.
Too bad.
But they say if you're doing what you love, then you'd still be doing it even if you had all the money in the world.
I think I would still be doing it, but not this Thursday.
Not
this Thursday.
Definitely not with the same intensity.
And I think it just wouldn't be this Thursday. Reason being, November is Novembering and I've signed contracts. If those, once I've finished with those, then it would feel like joyous to do it.
Yeah.
100 million, I would take a break.
I would take a breath, honestly.
God.
Yeah. It's just, it's true.
Breath.
Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of money, can we talk about how no one prepares you for how expensive things are? You know, as a child, do I ever remember my parents paying for steamer even? I mean, obviously they did, but like you don't, it's not like they would tell you, no, this one is 5,000, what?
I feel
this
like
one is
kids
20,000.
need to know that from a very young age.
Price of curtains, sufurias. I mean, the basic ass things that you buy in your house. Yeah. Doom. Have I bought Doom?
Oh, no, that's some expensive.
Doom is like 1,600 shillings. You bought Doom. So you know.
Yeah.
Girl, and then it finishes so quickly. It's like literally 1 week and the thing is done. I mean, things which you're just like, things cost a lot.
Yeah. Let me tell you, these when I was in uni, I think this is when I saw it. So we used to go shopping with my mom, obviously, and she had the list and then she had all the brands that she used to use, right?
Wow, your mom was so organized.
Yeah, like she wouldn't write the brands, but like we knew them because we know this is the olive oil you use. This is we just knew it, right? So I went to uni and I thought I could live on my mom's budget.
Oh, princess. Olive oil.
First of all, my mom picks pretty much the best of everything. My mom's attitude has always been like, work hard and just buy that one. That's like the best one.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
It was such a rude awakening because it was just like, whoa, I can't afford to live like mom.
Am I
and
poor?
I thought it was so basic, right? And then abroad, like fruits and veggies are really expensive. And our fridge was constantly stocked on all of these fruits, which were just like super expensive. Raspberries,
pomegranates.
Blueberries,
radishes,
strawberries. And then she had this like time when all she did was like make smoothies with these fruits that cost an arm and a leg.
And first of all, you need to put half a bowl of fruits for you to make a smoothie.
I was so shocked. That was my first experience that, there's different standards of living. And I was definitely living above my own tax bracket. I was living beyond.
Poor.
I was poor. I was poor.
Yes.
Living with a parent who was doing well.
Yeah.
My God. That was the biggest shock. Now here, I've had to do all of those things. I don't know what mafuta to use, all of those things I've had to know now myself and know the pricing. But dear Lord, you're right. Your
Things
parents should really tell you.
Yeah.
Every time you eat a mango, they should take it in.
Take it in. Actually, that's why you can't be on your phone as you're eating, because that mango.
10 pounds a mango.
Yeah. How about school fees? School fees for Tana is over 100K.
A term.
Yeah. For Tana, who's being taught just to poop in a potty and how to scribble. That's for her. Now imagine as they get older, it's increasing. Imagine how much Ethan is paying.
So your children
are not in high school.
Spend millions.
That's it.
A year.
Yep. It's expensive. Diapers are expensive. Basic everyday things are expensive.
I bought diapers for my nephew. I buy him every so often. Now I'm just like, wow, that really needs to go in my budget.
Yeah.
I need to write down. I was like, that's like that needs to go there.
Item.
That's not miscellaneous.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. And I think that's what I think adulting just starts to feel like it's a constant cycle of like you need to wake up because you need to make money because those responsibilities are still there. At the end of the month, can you ever be like, okay, now I don't have money for diapers and now your child is wearing a tissue? I don't know. What
I
are you
get,
doing?
you know what? Sometimes now, Joe, I get why you're always so on.
Because
I
it's like,
get
yeah.
it.
And of course, it's more than just, as opposed, like for you, let's say as Lydia, you can be like, okay, this month I don't have so much money. So maybe let me not buy 5 whatevers of strawberries or grapes, or let me just get bananas and avocado. Hey, no, avocado is expensive. Maybe just bananas. What other cheap fruits are there?
I don't know.
Are oranges? No, even oranges are expensive. 30 bob per orange.
I mean, I don't like oranges.
Anyway, as a mom, like you want the best for your child. You don't want it to be like, oh, I just can't afford that. So then now, you're not going to have it. We used to have grapes and I ask you, Mama, how comes you're not buying grapes? Why don't you have grapes?
Kenny, every time you do that, you're like Kenny. You look like Kenny.
Really?
Yeah.
Kenny with makeup? Yeah, so you're always trying to do the best for your kids. You want to give them the best. The things that you didn't have, you want people to give them. You want them to be in the best school. You want them to, be in a nice car. You want them to eat the best things. Like it's a constant cycle of like trying to elevate your life and their lives at the same time. It's a lot.
I return back to my life.
Yeah, it's a lot. Fees, Kwanzaa fees. Hey. And then every term,
because now
what?
when I'm calculating, okay, like now quarter you're thinking, okay, this money and then this money could be for this money and this one. Like you can calculate that. Literally just like this literally is like that school fees. Like it's just a bigger list of things.
And then now you see with things like COVID, it came and it changed so many things. So imagine per term for all the kids, you're paying something like 400,000 in school fees. We used to have 3 terms in a year. This year there have been 4 terms. So add an extra of that, which now every time you're paying. People are going through a lot. People are going.
And guess what? Education is a must.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's a right for all kids.
Which is so unfair.
Yeah. I mean, at least there's free primary school education in Kenya.
Yeah.
But also it's like, are you going to take your child to the public school?
Yeah. It's a choice.
It's a choice. There we are.
Okay, school fees. Jesus.
Here's
contraception. You guys are so joking.
Something else they didn't tell you about adulthood. There are people on this earth who are just bad people. They are awful. They're horrible. Yeah. There are people who hurt others for no reason. There are people who, no matter how kind you are, they will still do you dirty or they'll do you wrong. There are men who, even if you're how amazing, they will still cheat on you. Like people sometimes just do bad things. And just because you're a good person doesn't mean that you're going to always have good done to you. In fact, if anything, you could be super, super, super awesome. And that could cause people to take advantage of you. Not to say that you shouldn't be a good person or you shouldn't be nice, but you need to be aware that in adulthood, so many people are going through so many different things. My mom is always telling me how people are complex. So when you meet people with their own complexities and with your own complexities, everything is just very complex together. I feel like realizing that everyone just has their own thing makes me so much more tolerable to people, especially when you go online and like people are hating on you for no reason, or, someone just says something so unkind that you can ask yourself like, wow. But where do you, like, how would you even think about that? Sometimes people are just people. Maybe they've just been through a lot. They've never dealt with it. And they take it out by being mean to others. And that's just life.
Yeah. So the way I would say it's like, yeah, you've said everything except the part which is like, no, I don't feel anyone is a bad person, but I feel like we are corrupt by our own life experiences. We're corrupt by our life experiences. We're corrupt by our own pain. So that's true. Whether or not
you don't think anyone is a bad person?
Yeah.
Have you watched the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes?
Yeah, I know, but no one is built bad. I don't believe that. I don't think God created anyone in the world that's bad. However, a million things affect us to be bad people. Do you get my point? So I feel like the badness is more of a corruption of the person more than an innate thing that's in you, in your body. And of course, when somebody hurts you, you really are like, no, actually, you're just a shitty person. But what I definitely know now more than ever is that your goodness isn't the manipulator for other people's goodness. It's not the defining factor whatsoever. It doesn't matter what you're doing, how well you're doing it, how kind you're being. There will be someone who actually that kindness is triggering. That kindness is just like, yuck, look at her. She thinks so or whatever. She
so
just pretends she's such a good person.
Did I? Whoa.
Jane,
relax.
I need you to calm down because I don't know how any of this has to do with you, but that happens. And because we are such different human beings, we are always reacting to each other. It's like you walk in, you just think you look paying, but somebody else has just felt like you are just showing off with your confidence. You just walked into the place
being confident because that's who you are.
But then there's someone who's going to see that as something about them. So that is something that's true. And when I was going through therapy during this period, past period, to be honest, one of the things that I was grappling with is my goodness, right? So I think I even told you this. It's like, I don't know how to consciously maliciously do something bad to someone, or even if I know something could hurt someone, I will almost always avoid it, right?
I'm not that way.
Yeah, I'm that way. If I can calculate that actually this is something that has the potential to harm someone, sometimes I even overestimate it, and I'm pretty sure that's like some trauma response or whatever the case may be. I would not do something which I know could hurt somebody else knowingly, right? But then I think a majority of the people in the world are not like that. So then the other day I was just like, why didn't God just make me a different way? Why can't he make me that when I hurt someone else, I won't feel bad? I won't feel worse than even
exactly.
them. Why can't I been made in a way that I'm able to survive this world in a different way? Right? And this was like a whole therapy session about this, by the way, because especially when you're going through pain, the unfairness comes from a place of like, do you deserve it? Because in our mind, sometimes we think if you do bad things, you deserve bad things. But no, sometimes you do good things and you get bad things. And that is just life. But anyway, we came to the fact that the results of my goodness in my life are so much. So much. So that's why I'm created the way that I am, because of all the goodness that I have in my life. Because it's not only bad things I've gotten as a consequence of being good. I've gotten a lot of good things as a consequence of being good.
And so maybe they're not a consequence at all. Maybe it's just like because sometimes people are bad and they do get a lot of good things happen to them. Or sometimes they get bad things happen to them. And sometimes you're good and you do get good things happening to you and bad things happening to you.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just not even related at all.
Yeah. I don't know. You know me, I'm a purposeful person in
You're
everything.
a purposeful person,
So the way I think about it is that I do believe that whatever you're putting out, you get back. I believe that.
I also think that to some extent.
Then the goodness is not necessarily like because of people. Even some things is just like, okay, now, for example, why were you born into the family that you were? Or why did when you started your brand, it worked really well? Why did TMI just work so well? Some things which is just like, it looks like you're in control, but really some things is just like, goodness returning to you.
Yeah.
And obviously I believe in God, so I believe in that.
Me too. I'm just as you're speaking, I was like, am I that kind of person who can do something to intentionally hurt someone else knowing that it'll hurt them? I think I definitely am.
Yeah.
If I feel like...
But that's the majority of people.
And I think that's the majority of people. And it's not like, I feel like I am a good person, but I'm not above like hurting someone.
Yeah.
If I feel like it serves a better purpose. For example, if something to do with my children and I'm really angry and I want that person to feel the way they have made me feel, or my child, they've made my child feel, or something like that, that could definitely happen. And so this has made me realize that if I ever need an accomplice for a murder, I don't call you.
Nope.
I don't call you.
I told you a million times no. I've told you this so often, no. Why are you murdering someone?
Okay, so your role will be like, don't come to the crime scene, but post a story at that time showing like almost like you're with me. So you're here by yourself and you're
that
like,
makes me an accomplice.
Like, Joe, stop! But I'm not even there. I'm somewhere committing the murder.
So guess what? So here's the thing,
I love that.
I could lie for someone.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, but you just won't commit it yourself.
No,
but
I could lie for you. Or like if you want to do something bad, I'm more than happy to lie for you.
Oh, good.
Right? Because it's not me who's lying to the person.
Okay.
The lie is you.
I hope that makes you feel better. Yeah? It's just as bad, but I hope it makes you feel better.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, fantastic. Here's another thing about adulting that I think we are not taught is you can't exactly do what you want. I mean, you can, but like you can't really. You know how like when you're a child, I remember always thinking like me when I grow up and I have my own money, breakfast, lunch, and dinner will be cake and ice cream. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love cake and ice cream. And I remember just thinking, oh my God, it's so nice. You know how when you're a kid, you can only have those things, like let's say it's once a week or whatever. And I'm like, I used to wonder, how can my mom have the money to be able to eat ice cream for all day, every day? And she's not. Like, what the hell? It's a wonder that I I'm a plus size babe. But anyway, those are things that I used to think. But you grow up and you realize there are consequences to anything that you do, even if it's something that you want to do. You know, it's like, you can do whatever you want to do, but there are consequences. You know, like my mom always says, first you make your choices, which can be anything, and then your choices make you. So you decide, okay, fine, you want to have cake and ice cream, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but now you have diabetes and you're in the hospital. So, you know, it's like you can kind of do what you want as an adult, but also, can you?
I think that's the truest thing about adulthood.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
You can.
I can turn off my phone and sleep all day and it's a TMI shoot day. I can. Sure.
Wow. What did I do if that happened?
Huh?
I would be worried. I would drive to your house probably because I'd be like, no, she's been murdered.
There's something crazy. Yeah. I like that I'm that reliable that it has to be something crazy. That's something which you realize is almost, it's a freedom. Like, and Kipchoge is always telling us, only the disciplined ones are truly free.
And I love that quote, by the way.
It's true because in the confines of, I can do what I want, but I'm choosing this. That's my freedom. That's my freedom from what I'm eating to how much work I'm putting into anything, from the way I'm taking care of myself, from the way I treat other people. I can be a bad person. You can do bad things if you want to, but then the consequences face you. So the discipline of being within the constraints of the kind of life you want it's the freedom somehow, but also like the things that can feel a bit caged because really you can't.
Yeah, you really can't. Yeah. And sometimes I guess it depends. I feel like we are lucky in the sense that because we are content creators, we pretty much can determine our own schedule to some extent, but also we can't because we always used to say that at the beginning, but like really you can't because when the brand has told you tomorrow at 6 p.m. I need this post to go up today by 12 you need to have sent it for approval. It's like, so you can pretty much have your own schedule, but your own schedule within reason.
Within the constraints.
Exactly, constraints. And I guess that's even more for people who work like a 9-to-5 job or something like that, which to be honest, I'm so grateful that we don't do that because girl.
Yeah.
Like the waking up to actually go. And for me, I feel like
it's just a different restraint. I don't know who I was talking to about this today. Oh, yeah. It was my makeup artist. She was just like, people think content creation is so easy, right? But it has its things that maybe people don't see. That's the thing, because 9-to-5, everyone knows how that goes. But the day-to-day of like content creators that maybe you're not seeing, all the background, all the thinking, all the content creating,
the scheduling,
all of those things, that go into it are things that are just like, they're their own way. And also you could find us working crazy hours, right? How long was I at the event? Until how long? Right? And that's work. That's your work. And so you might be able to go home at 5, but then you see that there's people who do meetings even like today we're working until 8.
Until 8, exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's just its own different things, but it's true. You can do whatever you want as an adult, but can you?
You can, but can you? Okay, let me find another interesting. Your house constantly needs cleaning.
Oh no, actually I don't have a side to that because Mama Christy, yeah,
but like, wait, does Mama Christy take Christmas holiday?
Last year, did she? She did, but she was like kind of okay. I think she went one day or whatever, and she said if I wanted help, she's more than willing, but I didn't feel like I wanted to
I guess
have
this
her
one
around.
applies more to like, us who have kids and maybe. Like whatever. Because at the end of the day, now you still need to clean up, you need to the house.
But what about your
nannies? They go on Christmas break as well.
Yeah, but I mean on day to day they'll clean.
On day to day they'll clean, yes. So I guess that one. But this one will apply to, again, that's a privilege. Not everybody has nannies. Not everyone has house cleaners. Sometimes people are doing it themselves. And it's like constantly you need to clean. A lot. Constantly.
Yeah.
Especially in developing countries, there's dust everywhere. When I went to SA, I was like, people's houses don't even get dusty.
And
even
also, when I came
here,
I have to think about cleaning shoes. Yeah. Like washing my shoes all the time. That's something that no, you just walk in and see your shoes are fine. There's no dust.
Yeah. In those developed nations, and everything is automated. So you just have like dishwasher, you have to do what. Here, it's just like, it's manual. Everything is so different. Manual. Yeah.
I think one of the things, that is also a thing which is just like shitty, like, or it has to constantly be cleaned. But there is a way that in adulthood, almost everything about in your life is an expression of who you are, right? So there's something that comes in it that's like nice. Because example, when you are young, it's like wherever your parents say you're going to stay. They're not going to buy you a new bed, too bad. If they don't want a TV in your room, too bad. It's like it's limiting when you're a child. But as you grow older, some of those things, which is like cleaning your house or whatever, kind of feel like you're caring for yourself. I don't know. Of course, everything has to be self-care with me.
But with that, do you know with that, another thing about adulthood is we don't talk about the fatigue of decision-making. Constant decision-making. Always deciding. There are times when I snap at Zach for asking me the most basic question just because I'm just like, you have as much information as I have. You decide, It's
actually,
like we can be leaving.
You get angry at people about that all the time.
Like we can be leaving the house and he'll be like, okay, so are we taking your car or mine?
Enter one.
Enter. You just choose. Like both the keys are there. Like why must I? And it's like it's definitely an empowering thing about being an adult that you get to choose. Yeah. You get to choose. Yes. Yeah. So it is, but it's tiring. Sometimes it's just tiring, especially when you're responsible for so many other people's lives. And it's like sometimes maybe even that's why I don't like to go on the TMI group so much. So that if like Nancy has asked anything, you can respond and you can answer, and everyone has decided, okay, this is what we are doing.
But this is a funny bit, yeah. I feel like you really, really enjoy being the decision maker.
Yeah.
But
it's only when I choose and when I want.
But that's the problem. Yeah. It's like people will ask you because if she doesn't like it this way,
and then you do it, it's going to,
So then it's better to ask. Then when you ask, your head is chewed off.
Okay, so why are you making people think we're in a toxic relationship? We're not. We are one big happy family. We are one big happy family. She loves it here so much. And then also, I guess sometimes it just depends on the day. It depends on what I've been doing. It's like, okay, I've decided where the shoot is going to be. And now we've said, okay, this is what we're going to wear. Yeah. This is what we're whatever. But sometimes it's just
it is tiring. It is 100% tiring. And I feel like that's why I like to surround myself with people who I know can cost share that cost of decision making. Yeah. Because even sometimes when it's just like today, we're just like, okay, deciding what topics are going to be. I want to have a partner who it doesn't always fall on me or it doesn't always fall on her, because it can be exhausting. And based on whatever it is that you have going on, you need the people around you to be able to kind of step in and take some of the responsibility, take some of the decision making, because it is relentless. What are you going to wear for the TMI shoot? Makeup, whatever. What am I going to do it?
And that's why we stopped wearing matching clothes. Because even guys sometimes, honestly, it's like on top of everything you're doing, now it's like, oh, by the way, I'm wearing black to tomorrow's whatever. You start thinking, do I have black? Oh no, I need to buy a black outfit.
I'm gonna come with what I have.
I will wear what I wear. Yeah. And it's our words that are, And I guess this is why in adulthood, like when I go to my mom's house, I just feel so just like,
I'm going to my mom's house for Christmas. And I told my mom on FaceTime, I was just like, if you think I'm coming to do anything, you are mistaken. She was just like, no, don't do anything. You just sleep. I'm going to sleep, get fed, just literally. By the time I'm coming back, you'll see. And I don't care. I just want to rest and be taken care of like a baby.
I love it. When I get there and she's just like, Joey, do you want a fruit salad? She calls me Joey. Joey, do you want a fruit salad? Let me just put for you a bowl of fruit salad. And just like, then I go home and I'm the mom. I'm like, where's mom? I'm the mom. Mom, I want
even
pancakes.
Though I'm not the mom, there is no mom still.
You're your own mom now in your own house.
So it's like there's no one to bring me my fruit salad. So it's me.
It's you.
Here I am.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyway, we all need to be able to take pauses and go to our parents' house. And I hope it's a beautiful space that you feel comfortable and be babies. One of the things I would say that we weren't taught about being adults. Let me say that again. One of the things that I believe we weren't taught about being adults is, God, where's my point?
You had said it right the first time. Why did you say it again?
I don't know. Because I was thinking about what my point was.
Okay, cut as Lydia thinks about her point.
Yeah, what was my point?
It sounded so important.
It was important.
Mother.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So one of the things that they don't teach you about being an adult is that you win some and you lose some, right? Everyone's end of something feels like the most unfair experience to them. Yeah. You got fired. Oh my God.
You got dumped.
Gather your communities around.
Yeah.
You got dumped. Right? Anything coming to an end or anything not working out the way it's supposed to work out is earth-shattering.
Yeah.
And that's something they should have taught us when we were children. In fact, one of the biggest reasons why we take it's so hard for us to conceptualize some of the traumas that come with losing friends, losing jobs, losing relationships is because we expect forever out of every single scenario. We expect that if I start this thing, it's going to be successful. If I do this thing, it's going to prosper and it's going to be forever. That expectation in adulthood is why a lot of us kind of frown upon some really natural ways of going through life. When a relationship ends, that happens. That can happen. The reason why it didn't happen before is because people didn't have options. Now we have options. Now we can decide that I don't want to be in a relationship like this. I want a different one. But that is still like, come hold, let's do this kumbaya. You win some and you lose some in just about everything. You're going to win a lot, but you're also going to lose some things, period.
And that's just so... And learning how to... It goes back to how you were saying, how we were never taught how to parent ourselves and feel these emotions. But I feel like that's also one of those things which really... Can you be taught how to go through a breakup if you've never experienced the breakup?
I mean, you can't be taught, but for example, when your parents are going through something which is difficult, that conversation, even sometimes you're old enough, but it's just like, guys, we can see, and they don't want to help you. They don't want you to go through that because they have their own reasons or whatever. But if you've ever been able, like for me, I've seen my mom, like even when my mom was going through it, I was too young to know. But watching an end of something with your parents and them getting you into that space teaches you that this does happen. The more of your life your parents let you see, then the more you're able to be like, okay, that's possible. Oh, this is why that happens. And guess what? If your relationship ends, you never even think about, oh yeah, by the way, when my parents... you don't think about that.
Of course not.
Only recently when me and my mom were talking about how I've come full circle and I feel like so much more like myself. And we were talking about her breakup scenario when she separated from my dad. And I was just like, this would have been useful. Like, you just see like this is something like, I could have known in like maybe in a deeper, more like this happens and this is how life sometimes goes to be able to help me understand it, because we're always shocked when something doesn't go well or doesn't go our way.
I know. Now, as I think about that, I'm like, I think that feels in conflict to my natural instinct as a parent, because I feel like my natural instinct as a parent is I want to shield my children from disappointment. I want to shield them from pain, and exposing them to that, like seeing, okay, mama is crying because mama is sad about what happened between me and dad, or, mama is hurt because of this happened or whatever. I can see from your point of view why it's like, it would be so important for kids to be able to see what that process is like. And you can see mom didn't die. I mean, she got better, life got better, and we are happy she even met someone else and whatever. But I feel like naturally as a parent, I want to shield them from having to experience that, because the reality is that they will experience it.
But they just won't have the tools to do it because they weren't taught when they were young. So let me tell you, your natural mom instinct is the normal thing. That is it. That's what drives you to not hurt her for no random reason. So that makes sense. But the thing comes like your need to shield her versus her need to know how to navigate it. And having to put yours aside to watch her see pain, that is not something that just comes up that way. But I know when my mom had to have a conversation with us about separating from my dad when she was in the thick of it. That was awful. And guess what? She couldn't really tell us. So the whole time we were just like, when are we going back to daddy? When are we going back
stupid
to daddy?
Children, stupid.
You see? And guess what? She had to breathe through that. In fact, the other day I asked, what's the toughest thing about a breakup? And mom responded, taking your kids away from their dad, despite the fact that that was a right and healthy thing to do for everyone involved. Us, we didn't know that. So we had to sit through years, or mom had to sit through years of us being like, okay, and we're praying that mommy and daddy get back to right? Woo, when we're praying for our fucking food, Lydia, just eat your rice. Eat
your white rice and shut up.
That's like that's what happens. But without knowing some of these things, we end up learning them kind of when we are definitely so old. We don't know how to do with it. But maybe you can teach her from when she gets through a breakup.
When were we supposed to be taught how to be parents?
First, we are supposed to be taught how to manage your own emotions. So instead of Kenny's crying and you've come to run and you want to murder whoever has done it, we sit with Kenny. We ask her to name her emotions, mirror her emotions and her needs so that she can learn that she is the predominant person who's responsible for how she feels. But of course, that's not the natural thing of a parent is, oh, it's Tana who did this. Let me beat Tana.
Yeah. Because me, I feel like sometimes when I'm parenting my kids, I'm just like, but me, I'm a kid. Like, how can I be the one who's like parenting these kids? You know what I'm saying? It's like, when were we taught about parenting? Or when we're supposed to be taught about parenting. Yeah. How to parent. And it's like, okay, I guess like you can't learn until you're there. But like, man, it's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
Like yesterday when I took Kelly to the hospital and they were taking off her cast. And I was just like, I wanted to cry because for me, I felt like seeing her cry makes me want to cry. Yeah. And it's like, I get why she's so frightened. But now I'm like, I can't even cry. I'm not even allowed to feel my emotions right now because I need to be the rock for everyone involved, you know? So I need, like, and then afterwards I get home, I'm so tired. It's like I've been running a marathon because I've been holding on everything. Emotions. I had to have a good long cry at home. Oof. And I do, girl, I do that so often. I'm like, okay, Mama is just coming back. Just Mama is just coming back. Me in the toilet. Really? just to like release. Because you see, girl,
it's too much.
It's so much. And it's like, because I want to, I mean, even like when she was having her surgery and all, it's like, you can't be there crying because if you're crying and you're her rock, what hope does she have?
What now? Yeah. But guess what? If we weren't taught to parent ourselves, to be able to be like, what are you feeling? And mirror back your emotions and stuff like that. How can we parent? Girl. How can we? Because you are struggling right now with your emotions. Yeah. What about, we're here, all of us. Everyone is in it. Kenny, I'm in the struggle too, sweetie.
I know.
Yeah, it's just like now you're parenting yourself as well as parenting someone else. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
God.
I'm telling you. I follow motherhood pages just so I can have...
Why do you do that to yourself?
No, because I can just be like...
Starting with?
No.
Sorry.
Anyway, I want to see how it's done in like the real way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be deluded. I don't want to believe like it's going to be like, oh, sweetie. Every day. I want to know that there are moments where I'm really going to just be like, what would happen if she just disappeared? Just poof. And she just was like,
not poof.
You know, it's like you want to see the reality of it because bloody hell, because you have 2 nannies. Yeah. You are basically self-employed. And still.
Yeah, and still. But I feel so envious of you. Not envious, but I feel happy for you because I feel like people who become mothers in their 30s get to see so much more of the world. Like you understand yourself better. You know how to plan your time better, your whatever. You're more solid financially, you know, presumably. I feel like it feels like the right time is when you're in your 30s. I don't know why we grew up knowing that 20s was when 20, you're supposed
because of your body.
It's honestly supposed to be 30s.
Yeah, I definitely get it. And in fact, one of the things that I'm like, I really wanted, marriage and children to come out of my last relationship, right? But all the things I've learned about myself post-breakup is just like, you are going to be mothering someone. And the more I learn about myself and all the limits sometimes that my mind has, or maybe healing my traumas as all of these things, I'm just more like, do you know what? They're going to come. Because let me tell you this, there's still so much to go. But guess what? Even when I'm in my 30s, I'll still be there. Still learning.
Be there. We'll always be learning. I know. Sometimes I look at my mom and I'm like, when do people grow up? Because she's like 60, but she still does like childish things. And I'm just like, wow. Like just things, like fun things, you know, like a song comes on and she just wants to dance, or like she just like says silly things or whatever, or like just like kiddie things. Like,
I think I'll always be a child.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'll always be a child. I'll always be excited about the tiniest stupid things. Apparently that's a very big pillar of my personalities that people keep telling me. But that's it. It's like, I really want to stay like that. You should. Always.
Zach is 40 next year. And to me, I'm just like, 40 where?
Oh like God, Zacchaeus
is turning 40 next year. 40.
40.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Crazy.
We're joking here. People are getting old, Allah.
Even you in 2 minutes, you'll be 40.
Imagine 2 minutes.
Yeah, anyway, I feel like this episode could have been even longer because there are so many things.
All I've done is sigh this entire...
I know. But adulting really is great. It really is. Positive things about adulting is like having money. I mean, having your own money.
Not every adult has their own money.
Okay, ours. Let's talk about ours.
Fine.
Positive things for
money
us.
for
having
sure.
Money.
Yeah, having the convenience having the luxury to do what we love doing.
Yeah.
That definitely takes a lot of stress out of our situation.
The convenience of choice. Like being able to choose. You choose who you want to be in a relationship with, and you can decide, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And also, actually, funny enough, one of the things I've really realized post-breakup is how where I am financially gave me the freedom to just kind of, that was a decision that didn't need to be considered about money at all. It was just like, this is just this separate thing. But if the finances are limiting, they cut across every single area of your life because they limit your choices. So yeah, the power of choice and being able to do what we love.
Being able to express yourself, like you can choose, I like these earrings and you like those earrings, not just the ones your mom has bought you and those are the ones you're wearing. Yeah. There are many great things about adulthood, but that's not what this episode was about. It's about things they didn't tell you. And guys,
there are many things
there are
they didn't
so
tell
many,
us.
guys, and there are so many others we could have mentioned. Maybe we'll do a part 2 sometime later on. But do let us know the ones that you would add to that as well. What are some things they didn't tell you about adulting? Things that just slapped you in the face and you were just like, what the
Where
fuck?
are we?
What the fuck? Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that's it for today's episode. I think we've talked for a hot minute. If you're here at the end, wow. Okay,
all
dedicated,
right.
dedicated. We see you. We appreciate you. As always, make sure you are subscribed, whether you are listening, whether you are watching, and you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, TMI Podcast KE, Lydia KM,
and Murugi Munyi. We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.